Jets fans, what's going on? It's Rob with RJF Media, and today is the big day. It's the start of free agency frenzy, and today is when all of us Jets fans are probably going to be poopy at the end of the day because the Jets did not make the moves we wanted them to make. But I have a solution for you. On this one, I'm going to give you the absolute best free agency, just preseason, off-season scenario that you will ever see. I guarantee it. And for this one, it's an entire simulation, free agency, cuts, trades, the draft, of course. And for this, I use the Jets X Factor simulator. If you haven't used it, it is absolutely awesome. It gives you a ton of flexibility to kind of make whatever you want to happen for the most part. So let's get started. The first part of the simulator is the trades. And on this one, I trade Zach Wilson to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2024 6th and 7th round pick, getting rid of Zach Wilson, giving him a fresh start, while at the same time saving the team about $5 million. The next trade I make is JFM to the Las Vegas Raiders. I know it sounds crazy. He's kind of a staple in our defense, especially at defensive line. But don't worry. We find his replacement, and all things are good. And for this one, we get back in return Hunter Renfrow in the 2024 third-round pick, while also saving about $4.9 million. The next trade I make is the Jets sending a 2024 6th-round pick to Washington for Sam Howell. The Jets have their backup quarterback and a guy who is still young, who has a lot of talent, who has done some really good things this past season, and who still has the ability to grow even more. Now, for my last trade, the New York Jets send a 2024 third-round pick to Denver for Courtland Sutton. Remember, we have now 2 third-round picks after getting a third round from Las Vegas in the JFM trade. And in return, the New York Jets get Denver Broncos receiver Courtland Sutton. Jerry Jeudy was just traded to the Cleveland Browns for a 4th and a 6th. The Jets give their extra third-round pick, or a third-round pick since they have an extra, to Denver for Courtland Sutton. Now, the next part of the simulator is the cuts, and in this one, some of them have already happened, but on this one, I cut Lake and Tomlinson for an additional $8 million. Uzoma saving about $5.5 million. Nick Bawden saving $1.1 million. Tay Hayes saving $1 million. Austin DeCoulis saving $985,000. And Manny Jones saving $915,000. Now, there's definitely more cuts I would have made, but the simulator only lets you cut and restructure 10 players combined. So on top of the cuts, the restructures I made were CJ Mosley saving $6 million, DJ Reed saving $3.5 million, and Quinn Williams saving $4.8 million. Now, it doesn't tell you what the restructure is. It just says restructure, and this is what you save. So that's what I did. And after cuts, restructures, trades, the Jets are saying that $56 million after all of that. Now, for the next part of the simulator, it is the extension option. And on this one, I extend, of course, Bryce Huff, Quentin Jefferson for 2 years, $9 million. Chuck Clark for 1 year, $2.5 million. Greg Zuerlein for 1 year for $3 million. Solomon Thomas, 1 year, $3 million. Connor McGovern, 1 year, $1.9 million. Ashton Davis, 1 year, $2 million. And Thomas Morstead for 1 year, $1.5 million. Now, after all that, after everything I just laid out for you, the Jets are now sitting at $37.7 million, leading to the free agency portion of the Jets X Factor simulator. On this one, I scoop up Cam Robinson, left tackle from Jacksonville, for 3 years, $45 million. Yes, I know he is not technically a free agent, but in the simulator, he was a free agent. So 3 years, $45 million, about $15 million a year. Kevin Zeitler, guard from the Ravens, for 2 years, $24 million, and Austin Eckler for 1 year, $9 million. Now, with all of this, the Jets now have a ton of flexibility in the draft. You have 4 out of 5 positions on offensive line set. You have your 3 starting receivers, and then, obviously, Allen and all of them backing up. Allen Lazard as a backup. So now you're not obligated to go out, get a playmaker, get a receiver with that first round pick. You have a lot of flexibility. So now the next part is obviously the draft. And hot take, I trade back in the first round with Seattle. The New York Jets send their 10th overall pick to Seattle, and the Jets receive Seattle's first round pick number 16 and their third round pick number 3. So with that 16th overall pick, I have the Jets selecting J.C. Latham, right tackle out of Alabama. A big mamma jamma, 6'6", 345 pounds. And the crazy thing is, even at that size, he ran a 3.85 40. Now, when hearing about the draft prospects and everything like that, a lot of what's being said about J.C. Latham is he's an absolute mauler. Don't let him get his hands on you because then you'll never get out of it. Just a big boy, was part of one of the best offensive lines in college football, for one of the best programs in football. A lot of pedigree, was coached really well, obviously being at Alabama. And I know, it sounds a little hypocritical because especially for what I've said in the past, I do not want any rookies starting on this offensive line. But the way free agency panned out for me, in the simulator, I wasn't able to get 2 tackles that I really wanted. So with this, again, with the flexibility, we have our playmakers, our receivers, our O-line's pretty much set except for one of the tackle positions, presumably being right tackle. Vera Tucker slides back into right guard. So I'm going with J.C. Latham, offensive tackle, right tackle out of Alabama. Now, still with no second round picks, the New York Jets' next pick is round 3, pick number 67. And with that pick, I am going with Jalen Polk, wide receiver out of Washington. 6'1", 203 pounds. The guy has a very good, very solid career this past year, being the number 1B, number 2 to Rome Odunze at Washington, who had that high-flying offense. Was coached very well there as well. Just part of a spread offense. A lot of good pedigree behind this guy. 6'1", 203 pounds. He played in 38 total games over his college career. And his total numbers are as follows: 2,020 yards with 131 catches, averaging 15.4 yards per catch average, and he has a 119.4 QBR win target in his career as an average. It's also scoring 8 touchdowns this past season. I think he gives you just another depth option, another option for if Hunter Renfrow or whoever they move on from. Jalen Polk can step right in and take that over. Also, not helping just for this year, but also for the future. Now, with my next pick is round 3, pick number 78. And with that, I'm going with Christian Haynes, guard out of UConn. Now, I know I set the offensive line, but I did it for a couple of reasons. Kevin Zeitler, even though it's a 2-year deal, I'm assuming with that $24 million, it's kind of a 1-year guaranteed kind of thing. So after a year, you can cut him, move Christian Haynes to left guard, or Vera Tucker to left guard. I would just keep him at right guard at this point. Christian Haynes can come in, day 1 starter to begin with, can step in at left guard. 5th-year senior because of the COVID year. He's 6'3", 317 pounds, ran a blistering 5.03 40, especially at that size. Absolutely incredible, shows his athleticism. And over his career, very solid. This guy was noted in the Senior Bowl practices to be just the most consistent starter on that offensive line, and that's exactly what the Jets need. So for his career, 50 total games, all at right guard, 3,248 snaps, so he has a lot of experience. He's given up 30 hurries, 5 QB hits, and 9 sacks total. Obviously, numbers that he can work on, but being so experienced and being able to learn behind somebody like Kevin Zeitler, I think would do wonders for him, really. So now moving on, going to round 4, pick 114, and this is where I kind of solved the whole JFM scenario. In this scenario, bringing back Huff, you have Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens. We really need that third or fourth edge rusher, though. So with this, I solved that problem going Javon Solomon, edge out of Troy. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, Javon Solomon, who's that? I get it. He played in the Sun Belt Conference, not a very popular conference at all. But wait till you listen to his numbers. He's 6'1", 246 pounds, so kind of built like a Huff. He's outside linebacker, edge combo, more of a pure pass rusher, which sounds like Huff. In 52 career games, he has played 2,028 snaps, amassing 124 tackles, including 43 assisted tackles, 103 stops. Now, this is where it gets crazy. 142 pressures, 76 hurries, 31 QB hits, and 35 sacks, including 16 in 2023 and 3 forced fumbles in 2023. Absolutely blistering numbers. He's a guy that can take over Huff's role, add to Huff's role, and be that opposite edge, just pure edge rusher, go get the quarterback. Obviously, he has the career to back that up, to show that potential. And if there's one side of the ball that I trust to develop players, it is that defensive side of the ball. So now going on to our second, fourth round pick, round 4, pick 113, we get Max Melton, quarterback out of Rutgers. Local boy, keep him here, has had a very solid career. I'm not saying he'd be a 1A, 1B quarterback, but I think as a guy to step in, absolutely can certainly elevate to a number 2 cornerback, I believe. He is 5'11", 187 pounds, so a little bit on smaller size, but I assume he would bulk up a little bit, being an NFL weight training programs, everything like that. In his career, he has amassed 2,040 snaps in 43 games, has also amassed 116 tackles, 28 stops, 16 pass breakups, and 8 interceptions, with 3 of those interceptions coming in 2023. And another really good thing to note here is he has improved every season. You can see that with his QBR when targeted. His QBR when targeted has decreased every year since he in his college career, starting in 88.9 in 2020 and bringing it all the way down to 65.7 in 2023. Again, just a very solid option in case you can't re-sign the DJ Reed, or wherever the case may be, where a cornerback goes down for a game or two. I feel like a guy like Max Melton can come in, step up, and play well right away. Now, we do not have a 5th round pick, so going to the 6th round. Round 6, pick number 187, I'm going to Jordan Jefferson, defensive tackle out of LSU. Another big boy, 6'3", 313, ran a 4.740, which is absolutely insane at that size. And for the position, in his career, he has 53 games, 1,464 snaps, 82 tackles, 42 stops, 18 hurries, 26 pressures, and 6 sacks. Big Mama Jamma who can step in, stuff the run right away, and give you some pass rushing versatility, playing alongside Quinnen Williams. Moving on to round 7. Round 7, pick 221. I'm picking Jared Wiley, tight end out of TCU. Just one of those athletic freaks, 6'6", 249, ran a 4.6, 240. In his career, he has 46 games with 88 catches, 1,002 yards, 15 touchdowns, and he had a 109.6 QBR when targeted in 2023. He doesn't have a ton of playing experience. Last year was really his big year where he got a lot of snaps, got a lot of opportunity. But before that, the years before that, even though he didn't get a lot of opportunity, he produced very well when it came to touchdowns. Obviously, big body guy, physical athletic freak, just a guy you can sit behind Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert and kind of let him be that, that third tight end, that, maybe 4th option at receiver in the red zone. Big potential in the red zone. And for the last pick, the second 7th round pick, we have round 7, pick 252. I picked DeCorian Clark, wide receiver out of University of Texas San Antonio, or UTSA. 6'3", 215, 4.45 40. It's another big, fast, big athletic receiver, big body target. In his career, he has 41 games, 1,577 yards, and 16 touchdowns. UTSA isn't exactly the biggest football program, but he was able to produce fairly well, showing he can be a big body target, especially in that red zone. Just another guy, in case you don't feel comfortable about Irv Charles or, Jason Brownlee, whatever. This is a guy you can give an opportunity to kind of be that 6th receiver kind of guy, build up his confidence, and just kind to build him up a little bit as a player himself. So with the last pick, round 7, pick 253, Mr. Irrelevant, I'm going Austin Reed, quarterback out of Western Kentucky. I forgot to put down his measurements and stats here, but he's kind of known as like a big arm kind of guy. Western Kentucky, the offense produced very well, so I'm sure he was part of that. But that's what I got for my Jets X Factor complete offseason simulation. I know what you're thinking. Rob, how did you do this? This is the best offseason scenario I could ever picture. I can't believe in myself. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I think that this would just be the best case scenario possible. And so, write down the comments down below, like, share, subscribe. What do you think? What would you do different? Where do you think the Jets should go? And what are you most excited for this offseason? But until then, I'll talk to you later, and let's go Jets.